Hello there, and welcome to Power Up with Power Coach Alishia. I'm Power Coach Alishia, your source of fun, funny, exciting, entertaining, educational, and transformational speaking and life coaching with a twist of tough mama bear, no fluff, no hand-holding, no bullshit love. I specialize in helping women step into their personal power, unleash their inner badass, and put themselves first without feeling guilty. And doing all of that unapologetically authentic. Once we get into this live, you'll see why my brain's not working. Hello, Shirley. What's up, what's up, what's up? All right. It's Monday. I realized on Thursday's live, I told you guys I would see you tomorrow. No, I wouldn't. As soon as I hit finish, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. But that's all right. We made it through it, right? And we're here and it's Monday and I didn't accidentally show up on Friday. Hi, Anika. What's up? Okay. All right. So, as you know, I'm just getting these watch parties started. Good morning. Who else is here? Mary Jizq's in the house. Shitballs. I got a phone call. Don't these people know I'm busy? I am really excited for today's topic, but this is like mad energy right now. This is me giving you all I've got, which you know is not like me. We're almost there. I am just working in slow motion. That's exactly what's happening right now. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. I crack myself up. All right. Sending the message. Boom. Right page. Right people. Send now. One last place. All right. So as you guys are getting on here, make sure you say hi to me in the comments. Today we are talking all about power number 2, which is marriage, and I'll explain to you what that means if you have no clue what power 2 means. Hi, Denna. If you've been in my world, you've been following me for a while, you should absolutely know what power number 2 is. But like I said, if you have no clue what it is, I'm going to explain it right now because I've done all the things I need to do to get this shared out and put out there for everyone. Hi, Paula. Hi, Amber. What's up? What's up? Okay. I do love, let me just start out by saying, hi Marcy, that I do love these daily lives because as exhausted as I felt, if I didn't have these daily lives, I don't think it would I'd be able to kick into the energy realm that I need for the rest of the day. Hi Tracy. So it's been really awesome that with every bit of energy drain and every bit of myself that I've given every single day and this last weekend, it makes a world of difference for me. It's like a bass backwards, right? As I show up and pour into you, in reverse, it gives to me, and then I have that energy to move forward. So today's topic being about power number 2, marriage, let me explain to you what the powers mean. So I have like a formula to power up your life. And the formula is, actually, I want to type it out, but I'm going to have to paste it to every one of these fucking watch parties. It's OOY to the third power plus CDFs equals PPP. So let me just get this sent to everyone and then I'll say what the hell I have to say. So OOY to the third power plus CDFs equals PPP. Oh, look, I had it up here today, so now I can just pin it. So OOY stands for order of importance. To the third power, there's 3 things that you set in order. First comes you, then comes your partner, then comes your kids, then comes your business if you have one, then everything else. If you don't have a business, it's you, your partner, your kids, everything else, right? Hi, Tessa. So, hi, Alva. So today we're talking about power number 2 because the universe led me to this. So I think it's important to just talk about it. And power number 2 is your partner, right? So / marriage. But before I go into that, I'll tell you the rest of the formula. This isn't going to be the video that I explain the formula on because I already have a video that's all about that. But so OOI, order of importance to the third power, plus CDFs are your core desired feelings equals PPP, which is peak personal power. That is your... And my fucking phone's just going to sit and ring. Why are you ringing? I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm just going to keep declining. Oh my God. Okay. So let me do my best to focus. If my phone keeps ringing, don't go anywhere. I'll just keep declining these calls. It's Monday. All right. So, the universe makes no mistakes. And I say this all the time. And I sometimes think people think, oh my God, Alishia, if you say that again, I'm going to throat punch you. But the truth is the universe makes no mistakes. So in a nutshell, without giving too much detail, hi, Kim. A longtime friend who, it's been some time since I haven't talked to this person, reached out to me on Friday evening and they were suicidal. So I dropped everything and I was actually literally in the middle of cooking dinner for myself. I dropped it and then went and picked them up and then spent the next 9 hours life coaching them, like basically a major Power Coach Alishia life coaching boot camp. And then, so Saturday I was exhausted all day, but I had to keep running back and forth to the town that I live close to. I had to take that friend home. And then I had to go back out and get a fucking part for my BMW. So it was like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then I basically just laid in bed all day. You know, then fast forward to yesterday. And throughout the weekend, I'm still talking to this friend and like coaching them. But, it's through text. So it's not as much, but I'm still exhausted. So then yesterday, for some reason, I have no idea why I made this offer because I don't go down this realm. But they were asking me a lot of questions about their partner and what they should do. And obviously I'm keeping it very like gender neutral, literally. So, if they watch this, they'll know who I'm talking about, but anybody in my life won't know who I'm talking about. So they're asking me all these questions. What should I do? I wanted to get your opinion. Da 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 da. Hi, Kellyanne. And so I'm like, if you really want the help, you need to contact your partner, talk to them, explain to them where my heart is, because the partner doesn't know me, and come to my house so I can help you guys. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. So I have never marriage coached in my life, just so you guys know. It's not something that I've done, and it's not because I don't have anything to offer. I've written a book. It's called Live the Life You Love Relationships, and that's about as far as I got on it. I don't really know why I never went down that path. It's not like I think, oh, I would never want to do that. I just never went down that path, maybe because I technically don't have the confidence in that arena when I think about Daniel and I and our history and everything we've been through and, how hard it's been for me to change and grow. But then in the flip side, that's the exact reason, right? So I put together this whole plan that really, I didn't really pull it out of my ass because I have read a lot of marriage books. And like I said, Daniel and I have been through a shit ton, but I did pull this plan out of my ass in maybe 25 minutes, put it all together, and it was amazing. I knew it was going to rock when I got done with it and hit print. I knew it was going to rock, but I wasn't prepared for how impactful it would be in such a short amount of time. Because if you think about it, have you gone to marriage counseling before? Type yes in the comments if you've been to marriage counseling before, so I can see if you guys track, right? Hi Shantae, hi Romero, hi Calvin. Who else is here? Rachel. Is it Rachel or Rochelle? Oh my God, I always forget. Listen, my brain is not working today. Oh, and add on top of it that Daniel got on the road yesterday morning. So by the time I went to bed last night, I was fucking exhausted, but I couldn't sleep because they're driving all the way through. They're just switching drivers. It's 34 hours all the way through. Plus they're stopping, to pee, get food, gas. So that 34-hour trip I don't know, my guess is 44. So let's see, 24, 12, I don't know. I guess 38. I fucking don't know. so they're going to be home tonight, but it's stressing me out because they're driving all night long. They're switching drivers back and forth. So I was up all night checking my phone to see where they are. So that doesn't help. But anyways, hi, Luana. Okay, so marriage counseling is a long process, right? You start, they get your history. Hi, Latoya. It's like, to me, it's a nightmare because the process of marriage counseling takes forever. The last time Daniel and I were in marriage counseling was just 2019, and I got so fucking irritated I stopped going because I'm so impatient that I need transformation fast. That's my personality. I'm fine if you want to tell me my problems and like point it out and his problems and point it out and then give us a common ground. Boom, let's go. Next, let's go. And I can come to session after session every week as long as they're ran like that. But when they're ran in this, I don't know, fucked uppery of how was your last week, I hate that. Because you're not in counseling based on your last week, right? You're in counseling based on the fuckery of your whatever existence of relationship or marriage. So when we're having a good week when we go to counseling, how was your week? Or they talk to me, then we fucking say, oh, amazing it is. Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. But it's not amazing because we're here over everything, not the last week. So it's annoying. So I stopped going because I thought it was ridiculous and it was taking way too fucking long to get to the point and the transformation. And that's not my personality. The process annoys the fuck out of me. The whole thing. So from like what Mary's saying, the beginning shit, and then you get through all that, and it just seems like now each session is about checking in with where you're at and guiding you today. Okay, I love the idea of taking me forward to today, but you cannot be asking me about what's going on today. Because like I said, Daniel and I can go through months of good, but then when it goes bad, it's fucking horrible. Mostly because of my personality type. Because I'm very black or white, right? So if it's good, it's really good. If it's bad, the sky's falling. Hi, Teresa. So for me, I absolutely cannot stand that. Hi, Angie. Hi, Anitra. And so, anyways, I quit. So in this situation where I'm doing my best to help this friend out, I know that we're not going to do that. First of all, I have a lot of their history because they've been my friend. So therefore, I have a lot of their history. I know their personality type. So right there, I have like cut the time way down. The other person, I have no history. I don't know their personality type. I really don't know much about them. And so that I knew would be where a chunk of the time would be spent learning about them, right? That's where you come in. What does that mean, Latia? So I didn't have a lot of that information, so I knew that was going to be the beginning. But then, when it comes to like marriage coaching, I don't even know what the fuck to call this. You have to establish a baseline, explain where things are going, I had no time to process this. Like I said, I pulled it all out of my ass. Normally, like my life coaching program, all of that, I have my life, right, to map that out. I've thought about it a lot. Marriage stuff, I haven't really thought about. I just live it day to day. All right, so fast forward. It's about a 6-week or a 6-hour boot camp with this couple. And we're just going through this 5-step process that I've made and the things that I want to make sure that are covered in each step. And the reason why I want to share this all with you, and then I'll tell you the whole point of this live, is because I knew that I could help them. And I knew that they would leave the session renewed and restored because that's what I do. I knew they would leave the session powered up and have like a new outlook on life because that's what I do. What I didn't know is if what I did in that session would actually impact the marriage enough to where they could move forward and grow together. I've never done it before. So they were definitely my crash test dummies, which I did tell them. But I did amazing. They did amazing. And I believe they'll be together forever. So why am I here? Because there's certain things that came up in that session that I want to talk about today. But I had to give you all the history or that would just be weird for me to pop up and be like, these are the problems in marriage. Da-da-da-da-da, blah, 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 blah. Like, it would just be weird. So I wanted to like kind of give you that back. Well, yeah, but yours is trauma, right? Like, that's different. You have a different, like, specialty. I'm talking generality. So you want to be careful in staying lanes, right? And not broadening, in my opinion. But anyways, I can coach you on that. So I went through all of it. I did it all. And I found a few consistencies that I find in my own marriage, right? So I want to share those with you. So one of the things I learned a long time ago in marriage counseling is, and I'm still working on this today because I'm a pretty unfair fighter. I'm a very aggressive person by nature. So my negative personality traits present strongly in a disagreement or things that are not going well in the relationship. And I'm okay with admitting that. I have no problem with that. Right? So, I don't mind like sharing that with you. So I know these things about myself, and the counselor, not this last one, but one that I had in Florida, man, I paid him a pretty penny. It was like $1,000 a month to go to that dude, but he was awesome. Anyways, he talked about having safe space and making sure that he was talking about Daniel specifically, that Daniel had a safe space, like a place where he felt like he could come to me and that I wouldn't attack him or, hurt him, not physically hurt him, but like, emotionally hurt him, and that he was going to be heard. And this same counselor also talked about signs where you can see where your partner shuts down in a conversation. And it's interesting because I didn't realize that what I had learned in that counseling session, not only do I use all the time in life coaching, I can actually hear somebody's voice change when they shut down over the phone because I'm not looking at their face. But if I'm in front of you, I can tell when you're open or when you're closed, and you don't even have to change your body. I can tell by the difference in your eyes and in your face. I'm very in tune with that. And I think that awareness came from those counseling sessions. So one of the first things I want you to think about when it comes to your relationship is, does your partner give you a safe space to share how you're feeling and what's going on without being attacked and them getting defensive? And are you giving your partner a safe place for them to share with you how they feel, what's going on in their head and what they're going through? So like, that's one of the things that was huge in this session, is that neither person felt like they were safe sharing how they felt. And it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be situations where, you share how you feel and it ends up upsetting your partner, or they share how they feel and it ends up upsetting you. But it's just to say that when you have this awareness, you're way more aware in the moment of, okay, they're now shut down or they don't feel safe. You can literally see it change. But if you're not told about this, and you're not, it's not brought to your attention, then you don't ever notice it. But as soon as it is brought to your attention, you're going to notice it. So the first thing that I want to help you with, share with you, teach you, is to create a safe space for your partner, and to make sure that they create a safe space for you. So when your headspace is good with your partner, which hopefully for most of you it is, when your headspace is good, during your 5 questions, that's a good time to find out, do they feel safe? And once they answer that question, you guys talk through that, you should immediately share whether or not you feel safe. It's way better to do it when the situation is in a positive state. Hi, Karina. Rather than the situation being a fucking shitstorm. Because if you're already in an argument and you're like yelling about how I don't feel safe with you and I can't talk, no, that's not going to work. It's not like they're going to all of a sudden be like, oh, no problem, I'm going to do that for you. It's not going to happen. Okay, so this is really important during your 5 questions time, your cuddle chat time. If you don't know what those things are, it's okay. I haven't talked a lot about relationships so far here, but I am going to move into that this week because 1, I have no fucking topics. 2, I'm exhausted. And 3, I think it's a needed subject right now because we're spending a shit ton. Well, I'm not. I spend the same amount of time with my partner, maybe even less than I normally do. But you guys are spending a shit ton of time with your partner, for those of you that are quarantined and at home and all that kind of stuff. All right? All right. You listen to the tone of people's voices. Okay, so next, one of the hardest things when shit feels like it's not going right, or your partner's upset with you, or you're upset with your partner, is getting defensive. And I loved this session so much yesterday because it taught me so much. And not necessarily like taught me things I didn't know, but taught me so much more about my personality type and what I must do to not overpower, right? That is so important, Mary says. Thank God he's working. To not overpower. So if you're the dominant one in your relationship, then this is for you. And then I'm going to talk about you, if you're not the dominant one, what's important for you to do. So if you're the dominant one in your relationship, you're usually the one that's getting way more defensive a shit ton faster. And along with defensiveness comes with being condescending, putting the person down, attacking them. And it doesn't have to be like abrupt and loud and aggressive, right? It could just be snide and sidelined, but it's still not good. So I'm asking you to be aware of your defensiveness. One of the things that I taught this couple because of Ronan, my 14-year-old, I think I've talked to you guys about this before, of eyes wide open, right? If you're standing too close to the tree, you can't see everything around it in the forest. You don't see the squirrels, you don't see the deer, you don't see any of the other things around. So one of the things that I taught this couple was backing up and, the eyes wide open, right? So here's a tool. If they're talking and they notice that the other one is starting to get defensive and respond that way, they say eyes wide open. And no matter what, both sides have to respect that and stop talking. They can either reset in the moment if it hasn't gotten too heated, right, and keep going. But if it was like already too elevated when they remember to say eyes wide open, they have to walk away, journal their thoughts, and burn them, right? Immediately. All the bad things, all the negative, all the everything they have going on. One, it just resets energy, right? And it shifts your focus. So instead of like attacking forward, it's resetting the focus so that they are attacking the paper with everything they want to say and burning that, right? So here's the tool. I'm giving you guys so much fucking shit right now. I'm burning that. Then they come back together right after that and they communicate, quote unquote, fairly. I hate that verbiage, but it's the best verbiage to use. Communicating fairly is, and I probably don't like it because I don't communicate fairly when I'm pissed. Just being truthful, right? And I work really hard at it. I really, truly am. I'm working really hard at remembering that, which is the next tool, that we are on the same team, right? It's Daniel and I against the world. It's not Daniel and I against each other, against everyone else. I think that's another thing that's forgotten a lot in relationships and marriage, is that person's not your enemy. And because you're so close to them and you're with them so much, and you spend all of the things, it's easy to take the energy of negativity and turn it on them, right? Because they're the ones that are always around. I'm sure you've heard that before, right? So it's not like you attack the ones that you are closest to, but you are, you're going to take a lot out on them that a lot of the time doesn't have anything to do with them. So with that being said, I want you to, 1, remember eyes wide open. 2, remember the safe space. And I don't remember what 3 is. My head already is distracted. Communicating. What was the last thing I was just talking about? What in the hell? I'm going to drink my shake while you guys tell me what the last thing I was just talking about. Oh, defensiveness, right? No, because that's how we got to eyes wide open. Oh, if you're the powerful person, defensive, maybe I'm going to the other person. I don't remember. Somebody write it. I'm going to drink this and then I'll come back. Damn it. I don't know why I lost my train of thought. Let's go to the person who it takes, usually the one that takes the, not necessarily backseat, but the one that is not the, I would call the aggressor. Because you're usually going to have the person who steps forward as the aggressor in the relationship, and then the one that steps back. Even if you feel like your partner, well, they stepped forward too and did it. Yeah, but there's always going to be one, oh, thank you, Amber, one or the other that has more of that power. Oh, so this is my next tool. Yes, before I go to the less dominant personality type. Remember that you're a team, right? Remember that you're a unit. Remember it's the two of you against the world. If you remember those things, then the actions that you take in your relationship will be of such. But if you're battling each other in your relationship, then you end up battling each other in life, and then battling everybody else in life, but separately. So then the battle ends up being everybody is battling everybody, and it's like, why the fuck am I with you, right? So remember that you are a unit. You love each other. You're best friends. You guys are one, and then going, attacking the world. If you don't feel that way, right? If you're disconnected, which is one of my next things to talk about, then what ends up happening is it's hard to connect in order to face the world, right? To live, to take that action. So we'll talk about disconnection in a second, but I want to go to the non-dominant personality type. So yes, the non-dominant personality type can still be defensive, but generally, unless they've been really backed into the corner by the dominant personality type, the non-dominant defensiveness looks different. Generally, it's shut down. So if I'm being too aggressive in an argument, which I don't have to be yelling to be aggressive, by the way, I couldn't just be talking, right? But if I'm being too aggressive in an argument, I will notice that Daniel he'll do specific things physically. He wears glasses, so to see his eyes change is kind of hard because there is reflection and things like that. If he wasn't wearing his glasses when we were talking, I think I'd be able to see it a lot easier and faster. So I'm always looking for body language because, again, the glasses make it really hard for me to see to his soul. It's really hard to explain, but it does. So I noticed that last night too, that it was really hard for me to see the other one deep because they were wearing glasses. Or yesterday, I should say. I'll remember that next time. I'll make him take off their glasses. So I'll watch his body language, right? If I notice his hands come together and I watch what they're doing. Are they like really, really tight? Is he ringing? Or is he like holding his fingers in weird ways? Anytime I see like body language shifts, I do my best to pull back. I use it as my own trigger. So that, because otherwise I'm like a bull in a china shop. I'm just like pounding forward. So it's one thing that I've had to learn to pay attention to. So I know if he's like ringing and holding his hands in a certain way, he doesn't like what I'm saying at all, which is okay. I'm fine with him not liking what I'm saying. But I also know that's him withholding what he wants to say. So he's taking it out and squeezing his hands. He's not saying what he truly wants to say. When he gets to a point where his arms are folded, and he'll change the way his mouth looks, because again, I can't see his eyes. I'll know, okay, this isn't working. He's shut down, right? And it's hard because I have to be coach and wife at the same time. So it's hard because I'm like, fuck this, I don't want to help us. And then in the same breath, it's like, I have to. Because he needs that, we need that help, and he needs that help and support from me to step back and not be that aggressor. So if you're the dominant one, pay attention to what the non-dominant one is doing. There are extreme signs of when they're getting uncomfortable. So one of the things, which I didn't tell them yesterday, but one of the things I noticed in the one partner, the one I don't know very well, so that if they watch this, they'll know that I'm talking to them, is that when they got uncomfortable, they would sit up. And you could see the change in breathing pattern instantly. Like they would go from, like this and listening and responding to, and then heavy breathing, like instantly. And so that let me know, okay, stop, take a deep breath. Right? Because I could see that change so fast, right? Now, I don't know if the other person notices that about their partner, but they will now from watching the replay of this, right? So it was just interesting to see that body change in not liking what was said, or like gasping for air, or, little things like that. So if you are actually the one that's non-dominant, it's important that you pay attention to what you do, right? When do you become closed off? At that moment, oh my God, my pig doesn't want to be in here. Hold on. You're being annoying. At that moment that you find that you are closing off, it's important that you are aware. So even if you're irritated by what's going on, even if you don't like what's being said, it's actually up to you to take the deep breath. It's up to you to stop squeezing or wringing your hands. It's up to you to unfold your arms, right? You have to remain present even if you don't like what's being said. But with the eyes wide open tool, at least you don't have to sit in I don't know what the word is. You don't have to sit in a situation where you don't feel safe. You don't have to sit in a situation where you feel like you're being attacked, right? That still is going to give you that power that you need. It's important, though, that you don't shut down and that you speak your mind and that you continually work forward and, sharing what's on your mind, sharing what's in your heart, because usually the more dominant one, I feel like, if they are extroverted, are always saying how they feel. Even if it's not like deep and emotional and lovey, it could be in a complete asshole way. They're generally the ones saying how they feel. So, let's see. Tessa says, my partner and I live on different shifts. Me day and him night. When we have our time to discuss things, it's like a dump session. He gets mad about kids' behavior, but it isn't helping making it better. Mary says, I have to look for body language like you do. Hubby and I both wear glasses, right? So I didn't realize this till yesterday. That helped me in my own marriage, right? I didn't realize that I never look in Daniel's eyes. And even if we're not arguing, I never look in his eyes because I can see them, but it's harder to see them, right? And so I really feel like the glasses create a disconnect, which is crazy to think about, but it does, because I don't know, you just can't see into their soul, and the reflection, you see everything around them and you can see a blip of their eye, but it's just different. They have to be turned the right way to actually see and all of the things. And so you could be missing what's truly going on, the emotion that's truly there, right? So let's move to connection and disconnection. So interestingly, in this session, they both felt really disconnected, right? And one of them has been disconnected the entire relationship. Now that was news to me because I didn't think that was the information that I was going to get, right? And so I don't think that the partner thought they were going to get that information either. And so therefore, I think that was huge in reconnecting. So one of the things is when you feel disconnected, you take major disconnected actions, meaning the things that you do to hurt each other. Oh, you could watch the replay. The things that you do to hurt each other, create more disconnection. If you already are connected, so when you're working on connection in between issues, then when you do have issues, then you're not as apt to take action to pull you guys farther apart. But if in between issues, you're not taking action to stay connected, then when you do have issues, the action you take is to push yourself further away from each other. Now, this is subconscious, not conscious. So I want to make this clear. It's not like you consciously are like, I don't give a fuck about this person. I don't want to be connected to him. Da 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 da. It is not a conscious decision to take disconnected action. So I want to share that because a lot of times when I say things like this, people think, why would I do that? Right? You wouldn't. It is not a conscious thing you're doing. It's a subconscious thing, because when you feel disconnected, why not just keep that route, right? That's what you are actually connected to, is the disconnection. So in between sessions, it is extremely important, or in between issues, right? Fights, arguments, disagreements, whatever you want to call it. Make sure that you're spending that time connecting. So actually, that's where the 5 questions come in, right? Didn't we talk about 5 questions? I swear that we did, but it could have been on something else. And that's where the 5 questions come in. But I want to talk more about the 5 questions tomorrow, because we've covered a lot today. And I think it's important for you to give, for me to give you a rest in taking what I've talked about today and implementing it in your relationship. So I want you to remember eyes wide open. And I want you to talk to your partner about that tonight. I love this statement. Explain what it means. And that's what you say to each other when you feel like the conversation is going basically nowhere. And you don't want to wait till it gets heated. So you can tell when the conversation shifts from working through... Hold on. Excuse me. Sorry. You can tell when the conversation shifts from working through whatever the issue is to the spiral of, well, you did this and you did that and 20 years ago, remember, blah, 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 right? So you'll see the shift before it turns into a fucking spiral, is what I call it. When you see it shifting, you say eyes wide open. And when you guys agree to this, you need to be agreeing to the eyes wide open, not in an argument, right? When one of us says this, thanks, Latia, we stop, We reset, we come back. Now, when I say reset, you see me like go like this. Yeah, you're probably going to walk away from each other, but you're not allowed to like leave the house and go for a fucking drive or for a walk or anything crazy like that. Because any distance like that creates disconnect. No matter what you think. Well, sometimes I need to clear my head. Fucking figure it out in the backyard then, right? There is no leaving the premises. It creates so many more things that I don't have time to talk about today. So, eyes wide open, come back. Then when you come back, now you're resuming the portion of the conversation where it was still good before it turned into shit. Remember, defensiveness is the number one reason why the conversation goes into a completely different place that it didn't need to go to. So, eyes wide open, safe space. If you're the dominant one, you must be paying attention to body language and how they're reacting. And as soon as you notice the body language starting to change, you need to do something different. You need to go, okay. Like in your head, you don't even have to say it out loud. I do. I say, okay, I notice that you're shutting down, so we have to end this conversation. I created eyes wide open. So the safe space is from my counselor. I'll say to Daniel, I notice that you're shutting down and you're not receptive right now. So we need to stop talking until we can reset, right? And then you'll see him take a deep breath and he'll shift and then we can continue. But if he doesn't, then we stop. He hates it when I say it. It's almost like he feels like I'm taking something from him. But when he shuts down, I tend to get more aggressive. So when I know, like even before I realized body language, I obviously realized body language because when he shuts down, I tend to get more mean, or when he used to shut down, until I learned like safe space and those different things. And so now I say, you look like you're not receptive. You look shut down. It doesn't make sense to continue on with the conversation because I think we're just going to end up wasting our time. And then he usually will reset. And that is also, me saying that is also my way of realizing, okay, I obviously am, coming in like a wrecking ball and I need to reset as well. I love that song. All right. What was the next tool? So body language. Oh, remember you're on the same team. I don't know why the fuck I can't ever remember this today. Remember that you're on the same team. You are a unit, living life, building a life, right? This isn't a battle that you two have with each other, and then you battle the world and it becomes this, shit show. That's not the whole, that wasn't why you got married. That's not the point. So remember that unity, that you guys are partners, right? You guys are best friends. You guys are in love. So maybe not in love, but you love each other, right? So remember that as you move forward and taking action and making decisions on life. You're not battling each other to get to that answer. You're not battling each other to make that decision. You two are coming together to make that decision moving forward. It's a world of difference when you look at that perspective. And I got that from my own relationship. I realized that it always felt as if Daniel and I were battling each other. And it made me crazy. I would always say to him, like, this is nuts. Why does it always feel like you and I are battling each other when we're supposed to be, the unified front that's living life and, handling the world, like dealing with the world and building the life together. And, the challenges that come to us, we are the ones that are supposed to be like working through those so we can tackle it. But instead we're fighting each other. We're fighting the world and it's a fucking shit show. So we used to always talk about that because it was just, so that's where that came from, that portion of it. And remember that when you are disconnected from your partner, when you guys are disconnected, you take disconnected action. You use disconnected phrasing. You treat them as if you're disconnected. Generally, when you are disconnected, you will know because you feel more annoyed and I think the word is annoyed. Feel more annoyed when they're around. You don't really crave to spend that time with them. You would rather not. You tend to treat them more like they're annoying, right? And again, if you are the non-dominant personality type, you may not be doing as much of this and as bold, but now that I've brought this to your attention, you're going to understand exactly what I'm saying and how you do it in your way. So when you're not in a relationship issue, if you work on building that connection, then when you do have an issue, you're going to take connected action. So this is what that looks like. I'm going to give you an example before I get off here. So Daniel and I have grown so much in 14 years of marriage and 15 years of being together and 23 years almost of knowing each other. And one of the things that I now do, I don't know if this is the best, but this is the way I communicate, and this is the way we can move forward without me being mean to him, right? So I'll say to him, I'm just so annoyed by you because we're not spending any time together. We are not talking about anything. It's like everything is about, this is what we're doing here, this is what we're doing there, that's where we're going there, da, da, da. Did you get that done there? Did you get that done there? Like, we're doing all of this stuff in life, but we are not connecting. You don't know shit about me. You don't know what's going on with me. I have no fucking clue what's going on in your head. I don't know if you're okay. I feel like we're really disconnected and I'm annoyed and I don't want to spend any time with you. And so when I say that, he knows that we have to go to 5 questions. He knows that that's the best way to reconnect us. He knows that that means when I feel annoyed when he is around, it's because we haven't spent any time to connect. And so that doesn't hurt his feelings because to him, that tells him exactly what needs to happen. So instantly, if the TV's on, he'll turn it off and he'll sit there and he'll ask me a question. You know, the first question, I'm grumpy as fuck. I answer it from my heart and everything, but I'm still grumpy, right? And then as we move forward, I'm opening up because that's what's wrong. I don't feel emotionally connected to him. I feel a million miles away. And by the way, you can be having a consistent amount of sex and everything else and still feel miles away emotionally. And I think that is also something else that gets really distorted and confuses people. Is that, well, I don't understand why it's like this, right? We have a great sex life. I always hear this all the time from my friends, even when I'm talking to them about their issues. We have a great sex life. I don't understand. That has nothing to do with it. Nothing whatsoever to do with it. And it also doesn't have anything to do with the man side. Because you'll hear a lot that, you know, men or women, they reconnect emotionally. And men, they reconnect through sex. That's not, I mean, that's true, but it's not as true as that black and white. It's not that black and white. Because if it was that black and white, then in an issue like what I just dealt with, the man portion of it would feel 100% connected because they would be getting what they need. Or when I talk to my friends, the man portion would feel 100% connected. But all of the actions he's taken are disconnect. There's no possible way he can feel connected just because you're having sex all the time when the actions that they're taking is disconnect. So be very careful not to confuse an awesome active sex life with connection. They're two different things. Emotional connection must come through communication. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So I hope you guys love this. I would love for you to go to my Unapologetically You Facebook group. You go to group.powercoachalishia.com. If you want to type it into your URL browser, you can search Facebook and just tell me what was your number one takeaway from this live. What did you love? What truly connected with you? I would love to hear from you. And now I'm awake and I'm ready for my day and I'm going to go work out. So thank you for that. You guys are awesome. All right. I think that's what I have for you. So remember that it's progress, not perfection, right? Even in your marriage, it's progress, not perfection. I wanted to jump off here, but I do have one thing to say because that like sparked something in me. I used to say to Daniel, like, when is this going to be over? Like, not the marriage, but the work. When is it going to get to the point where it doesn't feel like we're working to build this? Why can't it just be like we have this understanding and that we're living and we're building, right? And then one day I realized there is no ending. You're always growing and changing. You have to be. Because right now, we're no longer rearing babies. So when our kids went into preteens, right, then the way that life is changes. So then your relationship changes. It has to grow and evolve. Now we have a teenager. And a preteen. So with the teenager, our marriage has to grow and evolve because we now have a teenager. It creates a new dynamic and a new set of problems and challenges and blessings at the same time, right? And then when our kids become adults, we have another change, right? It's always going to be an evolution because life is going to be changing. And then when we have our first grandchildren, it's not that the grandchildren are going to create a challenge, but again, you are constantly going through these changes in life that make you have to evolve as a couple. So if you're like me and you're wondering, God, when the fuck does this end? It doesn't. You're always growing and changing. And I don't know why I didn't realize that, because as a person, you always have to be. Because as Anthony Robbins says, if you're not learning and growing, you're dying, right? So if your marriage isn't growing and evolving, it's dying. If you feel like your marriage has been the same, to me, that's not good, especially when there is none of that growth. As human beings, we crave growth, right? So even if your marriage is awesome, it can always be better, right? If your communication is great, it can always be better. If your life is good, it can always be amazing, right? And it's so true, Paula, it never, ever, ever is going to change. Or it's never going to stop. Do you think if sex isn't even in the relationship, connection is still possible? 100%. I have next to no sex drive. But Daniel and I are very, very, very touchy-feely. So we cuddle he's really touchy-feely, but we touch a lot. So right around 8, 9 o'clock at night, we get into bed. We're usually always touching, always cuddling. If we're out on a date, we always hold hands. If we are at dinner, we sit on the same side of the table generally. And if the table's fucking high enough, I'll have my leg over his at the table. We are very intimate. So it definitely doesn't make the distance in sex a big deal. And we've talked about it to the ends of the earth. So it's definitely not just my perspective of this. It's definitely his perspective as well. That you can be 100% connected and not have had sex in months. True story. And not just the woman, not just me with him, but him with me. Because it's so much more than that, right? That emotional connection is so much more than that. Now, that's not to say that we're not working towards that and, really talking about that on a regular basis and figuring out what's what. I'm starting to realize that a lot of my issues is overweight, and I didn't know that. I started to realize that. I thought, well, I just had Ronan and I had no sex drive, but I gained 60 pounds with Ronan, and it's just been this crazy issue for 14 years, right? So I've been working on, getting through that, and now I'm on keto and I'm, working out 4 days a week generally. So, 100% yes. 100% yes. You can be highly connected with no sex. Is sex important? Yes, but you can be. All right. So remember, progress, not perfection. Give yourself some grace, and always say yes to yourself more than you say yes to other people. Bye.